Wait. We have to play the other undefeated guy? This is gonna be rough. What is going on today, guys? AU here, and today we're bringing you week 3 of the BBL. If you watched the beginning of the episode, you heard it right. We're facing Shadow Stitch TCG. I'm not sure if he's going with his new YouTube channel. He might be. If he is, his YouTube will be linked below because he does make videos. He does make videos in this league. He is the champion of last season, so we're gonna see kind of where we scale up in terms of that. And right now he is also 2-0, and he's in our division. We are first. I think he's second. So this is gonna be a pretty interesting battle. But I think if we play well, we prep well, then we're gonna come out with a dub. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. It's free. You can always unsubscribe if you want to. But let's go ahead and get into the team breakdown. You can see his team right up under mine. He has Tornadus T, Kyurem, Crocodile, Salazzle, Arctozolt, Skarmory, Slowking, Gallade, Alola Ninetales, and Lurantis. So he's got kind of a semi-hell team. He doesn't really need his hell if he doesn't want it. But other than that, like, his team's pretty well built. He's got a good defensive core out of Skarmory and Slowking. He's got good offense with Kyurem and Torn on the special side, and he's got things like Arctozolt and Gallade on the physical side, and Crocodile. He's struggling a little bit more on the physical side than he is on the special side, but it's still there. But overall, I think we're gonna do okay in this match, just because of Melmetal, priority, rock type moves from lycanroc-dusk. We're finally bringing Hydreigon to a game. Obviously our fire type isn't the best because Bolt Beak will just straight up kill us, and there's not much I can do about it. Like, we just kind of have to play around Bolt Beak. I couldn't really fit Nidoking on the team, I didn't feel like, so he's going to be kind of free to click Bolt Beak. But if he ever does kill something, we just come in with Lycanroc and we Excel Rock and kill it back. Then we got Primarina and Licky with Cloud9, but we'll get into that a little bit later. I'm going to start with the Melmetal set. We're bringing another Assault Vest set this week with enough to not get 2-hit KO'd by max special attack Flamethrower from Salazzle. Obviously he can Toxic us with Salazzle because of Corrosion. It means he can Toxic Steel types and Poison types, so he could Toxic Stall us with his Salazzle, but hopefully that doesn't happen. We have Heal Bell on our Licky down later on the road to kind of deal with that. We've got Double Iron Bash, Thunder Punch, Earthquake, Brick Break. We've got the Thunder Punch for the Skarmory and the what's it called, Slowking. I expect one of them to be Rocky Helmet, if not both of them, just to get a lot of chip on Melmetal. We're also bringing Wish on our Licky to kind of help that, because I expect he's gonna be making us take a lot of chip on our physical attackers. Luckily, one of our special attackers is super effective against Slowking, and it actually doesn't take the hits too well, so we can kind of just spam special moves with Hydreigon later on. But we can Oko Tornadus T, Kyurem. We do like 90 to Crocodile. We Oko Salazzle with Earthquake. Arctozolt we Oko. Skarmory we don't. Slowking we don't. Gallade will Oko. Ninetales will Oko, and Lurantis will Oko. So if one of Skarmory or Slowking doesn't come, then we're in a lot better of a spot because we have to predict less. If they both come, then it's a little bit tougher, but I'm kind of hoping that Slowking comes because we can use that as setup bait for a Pokemon later on. So I'm hoping Slowking comes to the match over Skarmory. Since he also does have Torn-T, you might not want to bring Skarmory plus Torn-T, but we'll see what he does. Overall, I think this Melmetal set is gonna do relatively well, but it's not our main win condition this week, I don't think. Next we have lycanroc-dusk with Expert Belt, Stealth Rock, Excel Rock, Fire Fang, Close Combat. We are bringing Stealth Rock on this set because he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things weak to rocks, and only 1, 2, well, not even 2, only 1, 2, yeah, 2 resistances to rocks. So like getting rocks up in this game is actually going to be pretty good. We can pressure most of his team out with this. Actually, we can pressure out Torn, Kirim. We can pressure out Arcazult, Salazzle. We pressure out Ninetales, and even Lurantis a little bit because we have Fire Fang, but obviously he's not going to know that, so don't really pressure it out. Like, I don't expect him to switch. But the things that he is going to switch on, we can set rocks on pretty easily. He hasn't really brought boots on a lot of things, so I'm hoping that we're going to punish him really, really hard for not bringing boots. Because really, my team only has 2 rockers. It has Nidoking and it has Lycanroc, and maybe he doesn't expect us to bring rocks on our Lycanroc. So if we can kind of surprise him with that factor and bring rocks and just get him up, we're in a pretty good spot. Other than that, we have Accelerock, like I said, to revenge things like the Arcazult, the Ninetales, the Salazzle, the Kirim, the Torn. Hits a lot of his team. Fire Fang hits the Skarmory, it hits the Lurantis, and then close combat hits the Crocodile. It hits a lot more than just Crocodile, but the other things that it does hit, I also hit like Accelerock and stuff. Crocodile is the only one that can kind of come in on lycanroc-dusk, so I had to make sure I had CC for that. Next, we have a choice Scarf Hydreigon. I had a substitute Hydreigon with leftovers and 3 attacks. But later on when I was prepping down the road, I had another Pokemon I want to bring sub. So I changed this to Choice Scarf. And if I'm correct, this is 319. So if we put Arcazult and we give Arcazult max speed, I think it's like 219 or something, 229. So that would go up to 460 and 319. Actually, let me do this. Calculator, open up. 229. Hello. Oh my goodness. 229 times 2 is 478 times 0.67 is 306. So yeah, Scarf Hydreigon does outspeed Arcazult in the hail, so that's pretty good. So we've got Draco, Dark Pulse, Flamethrower for all of his ice types and his steel type. Even though his steel type is going to take a lot from Dark Pulse, to be honest, because Skarmory's special defense is not great. I can kind of just spam Dark Pulse against his team. If he is some kind of Scarf delayed and he wants to come in on a Dark Pulse and try to get a justified boost, I'm still going to be faster because I'm also Scarfed. So we can just keep Dark Pulsing it, and it'll eventually get into range of being KO'd. If Crook wants to come in, we can Draco, we can U-turn out. This thing is just here to apply a lot of pressure, kind of just come in and click buttons for the most part. Next we have our heavy duty boots, Moltres. He does have a pretty good rocker in Crocodile, Skarmory. I think those are his only 2 rockers. He's got 2 pretty good rockers, so we definitely have to have boots this week. Flamethrower does a lot of work to his team. We're EV'd to kind of wall all of his physical mons outside of Bolt Beak. Bolt Beak is the one thing that can kind of wreck us, but if he's not in hail, then we're faster and we can hit it with a Flamethrower. We can defog if we need to. We can roost any kind of damage off. This also does pretty well against Ninetales, since Ninetales, we have enough speed up where Ninetales can't really break it. Specs Kirim does break this. Break this though. That's it. That's something that does happen. Skarmory, we force out Skarmory every single time that we are in with Moltres. Same with Lurantis. I don't think Lurantis can really hit it, but that's kind of the main reason that we're bringing this Moltres is because of the Skarmory. Slowking obviously can come in on this. I might even put Toxic on this over U-turn, but I think U-turn is a bit better because with the Regenerator Mon, Toxicking is not like it's helpful, but it's not like super duper, beneficial in the long run because they can just switch out and get all that toxic damage off. Next is a thing that I think is actually going to be able to win us this game, and it's going to take advantage of things like the Slowking. It can probably take advantage of Skarmory. It can take advantage of like Crocodile and stuff like that, where we can come in, we either force them out or we kill them. Like Crook, we can force out. He can hit us with an EQ or something, but he's just going to give us his Crook at that point, which opens up Lycanroc and Melmetal and Hydreigon a whole lot more to kind of do the things that they need to do. If Slowking comes though, I'm trying my best to take advantage of that Slowking because we can sub Calm Mind on that thing all day long. and he can switch in, you know, whatever he wants. His main switch in is probably, I don't know, what is a switch in? Probably Arc Result, but he doesn't want to get Scald burned. He doesn't, I mean, Lurantis, I guess, is the other thing, but yeah, Lurantis has Contrary actually, so we can't really sub Calm Mind in front of Lurantis because of Contrary boost. But we can definitely take advantage of that Slowking and get some sub Calm Minds off on it. And if we get a sub and a Calm Mind, then at that point, I think we're sitting in a pretty good spot as long as the Slowking's still in front of us, because then at that point we can just keep Calm Minding until the Slowking decides to finally switch out, which I don't expect him to really stay in as once I start doing that. So I need to make sure that I do that in a spot to where it does win the game. I've got to chip things down and save Slowking so that Primarina can win the game a little bit later on. And then lastly, we have our Licky. This is actually kind of tech because now Licky can run Cloud9 and Wish on the same set. So this helps out a lot because I can EV Licky really easily to come in on Ninetales every single time. Like, it has no problem. It comes in on Ninetales, it can come in on a Specs Curum as long as it's not focus blasting us. It can come in like on all of its special threats really, and then it can just kind of seismic toss for some damage. But since we have Cloud9, he can't set Aurora Veil if I switch it in on the turn he tries to set Aurora Veil, because Cloud9 negates all weather. So Aurora Veil will fail to be used, and he does like no damage to us. So we can just seismic toss and wish heal our Pokemon back up. Like this thing, if Ninetales comes in, it's just a free health pack to something else, because I can bring Licky in and wish. Can bring Licky in and wish. He has Gallade, and like if he doesn't bring Gallade, then I think he has a pretty hard time breaking Licky outside of like Crocodile CC. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to bring the Licky tech. We have, like I said, we have Heal Bell for the toxic spam that might be going on, for the Thunder Wave spam that might be going on from Slowking, from the Hypnosis spam that might be going on from Alolan Ninetales. I almost put Sleep Talk on this set because I wanted to use this as my Ninetales switch in, but I don't think you can use AV Sleep Talk. So we went for Brick Break in case he just does get up Veil. We can Brick Break it away, which is fine. But yeah, I think Heal Bell is going to be pretty important. But yeah, that's the team. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of late. It's like 2:30 right now. So sorry if I'm not the most energetic, but it won't be 2:30 when I play. It's gonna be tomorrow at like 7 p.m. So I'll see you guys there. We are in the battle, and not really in the battle. You could see I've got a pause here. During my live comm, my computer decided to kind of just like crap itself a little bit, and the audio was all messed up. It was laggy. The frames on the video was all messed up. So let my computer rest for a little bit. Hopefully we're good to go. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, but we are gonna have to do a post comm. And yeah, you saw the team builder, you know what we're bringing. You see his 6 on the screen. He brought Skarm, Kyurem, Arctozolt, Alolan Ninetales, Tornadus, Slowking. Pretty much what I predicted. I just thought that Salazzle would come over Skarmory. But he opted to bring Skarm, probably to hazard stack and kind of do all those shenanigans. But let's go ahead and get into the battle. So I'm gonna play it kind of slow so I can talk through. That's a little bit slow. He did lead off with Torn, and I led off with Moltres. Everything on his team outside of like Slowbro, which I can U-turn out on, doesn't really deal with Moltres too well. Obviously, I don't really want to take a Hurricane from Tornadus, but like it's okay. I'll be able to roost that damage off later in the face of like Skarmory or something. Like I had no issue with him bringing Skarm. Moltres getting health back was not really an issue to me at all. So he does go for the knockoff here, which is, you know, it's like kind of bad, but I think at the same time it doesn't really hurt us too much as long as we keep pressure on that Skarmory. Hopefully anytime we come in on the Skarmory, like anytime Skarmory comes in, we always switch Moltres in, and that should be a turn that he's setting rocks, which means we get to defog because he should switch out. We lose a little bit of momentum, but at the same time, we do get to make sure that rocks stay off our side of the field. So he goes for the knockoff. I opt to U-turn out here because I don't know his tornado set at all yet. And I go into the Melmetal because even if he's Heat Wave, it does like 30 to us, and then double Iron Bash kills. He goes into Skarmory. I Thunder Punch because it's just a safe play. It hits Tornadus, it hits Slowking, and it hits Skarmory. And he is Rocky Helmet Skarmory like we thought he was going to be in the team builder. So we find that information out pretty quick, which is good to know. We go right back into Moltres, just like I said. He sets up a layer of spikes, which I think if he had Stealth Rocks, he probably should have set up the Stealth Rocks there and set up one layer of spikes. We go through this process again, and lycanroc-dusk comes in. This is the pivotal turn, I'm going to say, like, in the whole game. I think this was the turn that really pushed the game in my favor a little bit, because if you look at his side of the field, he's got Steel, Flying, Ice, 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 Flying, Water. He's got no Rocks Resist, which is what I said in my team builder. If he has like one Rocks Resist, I think was he had two, Gallade and Crocodile, right? So Rocks getting up on his side of the field, right, for us is so good. We also get to find out a lot of the Pokemon's items. We get to find out if Kyurem was Boots, if Artizolt was Boots, if Ninetales was Boots, or if Tornadus was Boots, which gives us a lot of info later on in the game. So we pressure his Tornadus out. We do set Rocks there. We don't have anything to hit the Slowking, so we do have to switch, and he sets up Trick Room. And I'm thinking, okay, this isn't a huge deal. I can kind of just Calm Mind here, sub here, and do what I said I was going to do in my team builder, and kind of just take advantage of the Slowking a little bit because Primarina is so specially defensive. But then he brings up the Side Shock, and this is something I need to start. I've got to start checking what Pokemon get Side Shock, because with Prim, Calm Mind Prim is a really good set, but if you don't EV for Side Shock, which I definitely could have, it only did 37. I could have EV for it, and I just didn't because I didn't think about it, and that's on me. I need to start thinking about Side Shock a little bit more. So it does kind of ruin the Calm Mind plans, but we do get to stall out a couple turns of Trick Room because we get the sub here. I just opted to go for a Moonblast, hope to get a special attack drop on him. I was gonna Calm Mind, but like it didn't matter because he had Side Shock. Then we switch into Melmetal, expecting another Side Shock. I thought about going to High Dragon there, but he still had 2 turns of Trick Room. If he only had 1, I would have went to High Dragon easily. But then we go into High Dragon, trying to predict a Scald is what we were predicting there. But he doubles into Skarmory, which gives us a good bit of momentum. Looking back at this, I probably could have just Dark Pulse there. I didn't calc. And later on in the game, I saw that Dark Pulse did do enough to kill Skarmory there. I should have just Dark Pulsed if he did go into Alolan Ninetales. I had some of the best Alolan Ninetales switch-ins on my team, so I shouldn't have been like too worried about it. But for some reason, I opted to Flamethrower. I think Dark Pulse 2-hit killed the Tornadus. It would have killed the Skarmory, and just like I said before the game, puts a lot of holes in this team. But we do opt for Flamethrower, kind of a misplay, but it's okay because we can go into Licky Licky here. He didn't Hurricane, he U-turns out, which is okay, and he goes back into Skarmory, kind of what I was expecting. We go back into Moltres here. Oh, we go into High Dragon here because I predicted a Roost, right? So I predicted the Roost. We go into High Dragon to threaten with another Flamethrower, but I'm pretty sure this time I Dark Pulse. Just because I thought he was going to go back into Torn, but he goes into Ninetales this time, and we see Ninetales is not Boots, so it's either Light Clay or it's some kind of Specs variant or Scarf or something. So we switch out into Licky Licky and our Cloud9 Licky Licky, and we do exactly what we said we were going to do with Licky Licky and just kind of wall this Ninetales with our set. Because of Cloud9, we don't take Hell Chip, and then he does try to go for the Aurora Veil, and that was kind of it was obviously a misplay, and I kind of said that I thought that interaction was going to come up once I put Cloud9 on the set. Being able to run Cloud9 and Wish on the same set is really beneficial now for that exact reason. So he never was able to get Aurora Veil up once this game, and he also didn't bring Gallade, so he really did have a hard time breaking this Licky Licky. But he Encores, which I think is fine. I just go for another Wish, and I let him switch into whatever he wants to. We see that Kyurem is leftovers right here, so I'm expecting some kind of subset. And if he would have subbed there, then Melmetal would have gotten back to full. But as you see, he didn't sub, he just opted for Earth Power, but we're still fine, because even with that prediction, we get our Wish back, and we were able to threaten this thing out again. If he did sub, then we would have gotten a full. He would have either had to switch or double Iron Bash would break the sub and then deal a lot of damage to Kyurem. So right here, I'm pretty sure I double into Moltres. predicting Scarm. He does go Scarm, and then I go Moltres. Yeah, so we predict the Moltres. I mean, we'd predict the Scarm and go Moltres. Sorry, I had to pause there for a second, but we predict the Skarmory, go into Moltres, and we go for the Flamethrower. Oh no, we U-turn out on that turn. Okay, there's a turn later on where we go for Flamethrower, but we U-turn out there, we go back into Lycanroc. And at this point, Lycanroc threatens everything except Slowking. Now, he doesn't know that we don't have Crunch, but we don't have Crunch. So, on this turn, I was debating whether I go for Fire Fang, because I was pretty sure that the Skarmory was coming in. In hindsight, I wish I would have went for the Fire Fang, but I don't really need to risk a whole lot right now, because like I said, if Skarmory comes in, Moltres gets to come back in and gets health back, yada yada yada, and you know, so I wasn't too worried about the Skarmory coming back in, but being able to get rid of Skarmory, like if I Fire Fanged here, I'm pretty sure Lycanroc just won the game, especially if it did have Crunch. Obviously we didn't, we had CC, but we would have been able to deal with the Slowking, and Lycanroc could have just won the game by predicting a Fire Fang. So he does go in the Scarm, but I just opt to Excel Rock because getting rid of Tornadus was also pretty good to me. We go for the Fire Fang just to see if it would kill. It didn't kill, and he didn't Body Press. He goes for Roost, and then again we go into Moltres, and we kind of repeat this process again. He goes for Roost, and this is the turn where I thought he might stay in and try to get up a layer of rocks or another layer of spikes or something because he has Sturdy back. So I thought maybe since he has Sturdy back, he would he'd risk it and get something else up to kind of pressure my team a little bit more. So I did go for the Flamethrower. Obviously Slowking's a pretty free switch in, so I could have U-turned, but I didn't. He goes into the Slowking, we get the Flamethrower on the Slowking, then we U-turn on this next turn, and he gets a Weakness Policy proc. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, I'm kind of scared. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit scared. We saw how much that Side Shot gets to the Primarina. We know he has, we're gonna assume he has Scald. We don't know he has Scald at this point, but we're gonna assume he has Scald. And if he had Slack Off, we might have been in a tougher position. I don't know what his last move was, but we see the Weakness Policy proc. We go back into our Licky because at this point it's our healthiest defensive option versus this thing, and I don't want to get Scald Burn. We can stall out some Trick Room turns with Wish Protect, so we protect. We Wish on this turn, and then we protect again. Actually, no, we don't protect again because we see that Side Shot did 48. So we don't protect again, we just opt for damage. Scald does 44, so he's not actually doing more than what we're wishing back. So we do get to just Seismic Toss here. And after this, I'm pretty sure I protected on this turn, but he switches out in Alola Ninetales, which is fine. Alola Ninetales can't touch this thing. So I didn't want to get Encored into Wish again because I didn't want Arctozolt to be able to come in for free. So I just opted to keep Seismic Tossing over and over and over. At this point, if he's banded, Volbeat does kill us. So I protected just to see what he would go for. And then I saw he's going for Volbeat, so we go into Hydreigon and we live the Volbeat. And then we're faster with Scarf. And at this point, this is another pretty pivotal point in the game where he kind of just starts giving me damage on things. You can see that Skarmory is at 100, but it comes on rocks. Kyurem is at 88. Arctozolt will die to a Dark Pulse. Ninetales dies to Rock plus Dark Pulse. Tornadus dies to Rocks plus Dark Pulse, and Slowking dies to Dark Pulse plus Rocks. So we kind of just get to start clicking Dark Pulse here, which is what I said what I wanted to do in the team builder. So you can see he switches in here. He gets the Dark Pulse damage off, and we're slowly taking Hell Chip, but it's not a huge deal. He gets another Dark Pulse, and then we see right here, if you missed it, we see right here that he's Icy Rock. He's Icy Rock Ninetales. So even if he does get a Veil, we know he's not Light-Clay. He's Icy Rock Ninetales. But he just starts, like I said, he just starts switching, and he just starts giving me damage. I just keep clicking Dark Pulse because every time he switches in, I would kill the next time. So he just keeps giving me damage, and this is the last turn of Hail, so I don't have to worry about Hail Chip on this turn, and he gives me another Mon. And then he goes back into Ninetales to reset Hail, and at this point I could Dark Pulse it, and I'd only be at 2%, but I'm kind of scared of Ice Shard as his last move. So I opted to switch out here back into Licky, stop him from getting Aurora Veil up. If he wants to do, yeah, so he tried to do Aurora Veil again, he couldn't, wants to do any kind of shenanigans. He goes for the Freeze Dry. We go for the Seismic Toss here because we don't want to get Encored and let the Arctozolt in. So Arctisol does come in, takes a lot of chip from the rocks. We protect, trying to just get a little bit of HP back. And here he crits. I don't think the crit really mattered. And also at this point in the game, I was talking to somebody about it afterwards. I could have just went Lycanroc here and Excel Rocked into Fire Fanging Skarmory. Actually just Excel Rock, because Skarmory would have come in on rocks, taken 12, so it would have been at 14. Excel Rock did 16, so Excel Rock just won me the game and gave me a 5-0. I didn't really think about it. I saw that Skarmory was at 26 and I didn't feel like risking a Fire Fang miss. Didn't think about rocks at all. So in hindsight, should have been a 5-0, but in my mind, I was playing safe, so I just decided, you know, at Melmetal, I said before, Melmetal wasn't really the best win con here, especially with Skarmory around Rocky Helmet Skarm. I didn't want anything to be bait for Skarm to be able to get a roost off, and I might have a chance of living this hit, who knows, because Melmetal's pretty defensively bulky. But yeah, in hindsight, I should have just went like rock, but I didn't. I go Melmetal. I see that he was Life Orb, so we let him kill himself to Life Orb, and Melmetal goes down. And at this point, I go into Hydreigon, I'm pretty sure, just to kind of beat Hydreigon kills. I'm not gonna lie, it was the safest option. If he did go Skarmory, Dark Pulse killed. If he goes like anything, he went Dark Pulse killed, right? So it just kind of was, to me, the safest option. And he opts for Skarmory to be the last thing. We go down to Hail Chip here, and then Moltres comes out, and it's gonna claim the kill on Skarmory with Flamethrower. But yeah, it was a really good game. I feel like I played really well in that game. Afterwards, I had a lot of people tell me that they liked the plays I was making and stuff. So I don't know, I felt pretty good about the game. I feel pretty good about this team as a whole. I feel like I'm getting pretty comfortable with it. It is week 3, so it's about time to start getting comfortable with that. And with that, we are now one of 2 undefeated teams in my division. He was one of them. There were 3. He was one of them. Now it's me and a guy named Arthur, who were both undefeated. I'm pretty sure I'm still the 1 seed. I think Arthur got a 1-0, so his differential's not quite better than mine. So we are still the 1 seed in our division. But yeah, good game to Shadow Stitch. Like I said, I don't know if he is using his new YouTube or his old YouTube. I'll probably just link both of them, but if you want to check out his side of the battle, it will be in the description below. And with that, that's where I'm gonna leave you. So if you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.